They're coming in, they're slicing and dicing, they're evil. I think from my experience, there's many different flavors and personalities of private equity. And when they come in, they can have a lot of great benefit if it's the right fit and the right type of a fund and the team. Tell me a little bit about the people dynamics and the team and the culture.
Yeah, I think, your perception, in which was initially, I think, the perception of most people when they hear that, the company has been taken private with either a private equity or, an outside investor who has a propensity to be a disruptor. Their first initial reactions are always, well, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for my job? Are there going to be cost cuts, or are there going to be product portfolio changes? And, I think what I've seen from my experience is that, typically in those situations, all the private equity and all the venture capitalists really want is to have a clear strategic plan as to how you're going to get the business and the company back to a pattern of growth and to success. Some of that may at times be, reallocating resources, and some of it is going to be impacted to people and their jobs. And but I don't think that I've ever gone into the 3 turnarounds that I've been in where, the private equity or the venture capital, whoever's been the investor, has said, the first thing you got to do is go in, you got to slash and cut expenses. That I've never been into that situation. It's always, well, how do we redeploy the resources? How do we make sure that there's clarity around our vision and our mission for this business to get it back on a trajectory of growth? So I think the perception, to your point, is one that in many cases is probably, not well grounded, but I certainly can get where that may have come from. It's because, typically you think of private equity, you think of, they want to turn and burn.